Today, we're diving deep into the finale of Disclaimer on Apple TV+, a show that's left viewers reeling with its intense, emotional twists and dark revelations. We're talking about a show helmed by none other than Alfonso Cuarón, the director behind incredible movies like Gravity and Roma. And this series is packed with powerful performances from Cate Blanchett, Kevin Kline, and Sacha Baron Cohen. So, get ready as we break down the shocking conclusion and uncover what's really behind Catherine Ravenscroft's story. All right, so for anyone who hasn't kept up, Disclaimer follows Catherine Ravenscroft, played by Cate Blanchett, a journalist whose life unravels when a novel surfaces detailing an incident from her past that she's tried to keep buried. A story she's tried to forget or perhaps twist around in her own way becomes public in a fictionalized version written by Nancy Brigstock. The book describes Catherine as a manipulative young woman who seduced a young man, Jonathan Brigstock, only to betray him. And this is where it gets complicated. Catherine insists that the book's version isn't what really happened. So, what's the truth? In the finale, we find Catherine confronting Stephen Brigstock, Jonathan's father, played by Kevin Kline. The tension is at an all-time high because Stephen has been on this obsessive quest to destroy her life, convinced that she hurt his son. But Catherine's story, the truth she's been holding back for so long, is far darker and more tragic than Stephen ever imagined. She reveals that it wasn't seduction or betrayal as the book suggested. She tells Stephen that Jonathan assaulted her. He was not a victim, he was the perpetrator. The assault haunted her for years, an experience she tried to bury, literally burning any evidence after Jonathan's death. But this isn't just Catherine's painful confession, it's an explosion of raw emotion that Cate Blanchett brings to life so vividly. She's holding a knife as she confronts Stephen, demanding he hear her truth. She's desperate and done with being silent, and she wants Stephen to understand the horror she endured, something she never imagined would come back to haunt her like this. Stephen, however, is in denial. And honestly, it's heartbreaking to watch. He's struggling between his memories of Jonathan, the son he loved, and this horrible truth that Catherine is telling him. He keeps asking for proof, but Catherine doesn't have any. He destroyed it all, hoping it would erase the trauma. But we see how it scarred her life. And that's part of what makes this series so powerful, how it shows the real cost of trauma, even when it's invisible to everyone else. Now, here's where things get even more intense. Catherine's son, Nicholas, played by Cody Smith-McPhee, has his own dark connection to these events. Nicholas is in the hospital after a drug-induced stroke, and Stephen had even attempted to kill him earlier, believing it would destroy Catherine's last bit of happiness. But in this heart-wrenching twist, Nicholas wakes up, holding Stephen's hand, and says, "Mom, I want to go." That phrase hits like a freight train. It's as if he's been carrying this weight, a piece of this tragic puzzle, all along. We come to learn that Nicholas, as a young boy, was awake during Catherine's assault. He didn't fully understand what was happening, but sensed the darkness of that moment, which explains why he's been so distant and resentful toward his mother. He knew something was wrong, but couldn't grasp or articulate it, which only added to Catherine's heartbreak. Watching these two characters, mother and son, finally begin to understand each other is nothing short of cathartic. They're both victims in different ways, and for the first time, they're able to open up and start the long road toward healing. And then there's Stephen's final revelation, the moment that shifts everything for him. While burning the photos Jonathan had taken, Stephen notices Nicholas's reflection in a mirror. It's the proof he couldn't see earlier, the undeniable truth that forces him to confront what his son truly was. This moment is Stephen's breaking point. He confesses to himself that he always knew deep down what Jonathan was capable of, but he buried that knowledge out of love and denial. And now, with Catherine's truth in the open, he's left to grapple with the guilt of all the harm he's done trying to protect an image of his son that never existed. So, where does this leave everyone at the end? Catherine's husband, Robert, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, finally learns the truth. And while it brings him relief to know she didn't betray him, it's also a harsh wake-up call. He realizes he failed to support her, to give her the space to explain herself. It's a lesson, a reminder that assumptions and silence can sometimes be more damaging than anything else. And that's one of the powerful messages of Disclaimer, that society often fails to listen to women's stories, especially those that don't fit a neat, simple narrative. Now, here's the big question everyone's been asking. Will there be a second season of Disclaimer? The show has covered the entire storyline of Renee Knight's novel, so a second season would be uncharted territory. Cuarón himself said that creating Disclaimer was like making 4 films, so we know the amount of dedication it took to bring this story to life. But honestly, I don't think it needs another season. This ending is powerful because it leaves us with the necessary reflection on trauma, truth, and forgiveness. Catherine and Stephen's stories feel complete, and adding more could dilute the impact of their journeys. In the end, Disclaimer leaves us with haunting questions. How do we choose to remember people we love, even if they've done terrible things? How often do we dismiss someone's truth because it's uncomfortable or inconvenient? How many times are victims left to carry their trauma alone because others refuse to listen? It's an intense series, but it's one that asks viewers to face some hard truths. And that's why it resonates. Thank you all for tuning in and taking this emotional journey with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did this ending hit you as hard as it did me? Do you think we need a second season? Or should Disclaimer stay as a standalone story? Let's chat. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming deep dives. See you in the next video.